Why has removed nearly all hits for blunt slide 42? I cannot definitively say why Google has removed or reduced the number of hits for blunt slide 42 without more context and information. However, it's possible that the term is associated with content that no longer appears in search results due to a change in Google's algorithms, removal of specific websites from search indexes, or adjustments made by the website owner themselves. It could also be due to copyright infringement, spamming, or other policy violations on the associated websites. Without further information, it is impossible to pinpoint the exact reason. Which types of further information do you require? To better understand why Google has removed or reduced the number of hits for blunt slide 42, I would need the following types of information. 1. The date when you first noticed the change in search results. 2. The location from which you are performing the search. 3. Information about any specific filters or settings used while searching, such as safe search, language preferences, etc. 4. Examples of the exact search queries that were performed and their results prior to the observed change. 5. Any context or background information regarding blunt slide 42, such as its association with a particular website, organization, or individual, or whether it is a common term in a specific field or community. 6. If available, any error messages or notifications from Google regarding the search results for blunt slide 42. 7. Any additional details about how you discovered the search term and its previous search results. With this information, I can perform further research to help determine the reason behind the change in Google's search results for blunt slide 42. During 2020, during the COVID pandemic and the beginning of the Biden-Harris administration in the U.S. Given that the provided context mentions the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 and the start of the Biden-Harris administration in the United States, here are some additional points to consider. 1. Google's search algorithms can be influenced by various factors, including current events, trends, and popular topics. During the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent political transition, Google may have adjusted its algorithms to prioritize more relevant or authoritative content related to these topics. 2. It is also possible that websites associated with blunt slide 42 were negatively impacted due to violations of Google's policies such as spamming, copyright infringement, or other policy violations. This could have resulted in the reduction or removal of search results for blunt slide 42. 3. The change in government administration often leads to shifts in focus and priorities across various sectors, including online content and search results. It is possible that websites associated with blunt slide 42 were affected by these changes in policy or focus, leading to a reduction in their visibility in Google's search result. 4. The pandemic and political transition may have also caused fluctuations in user behavior and search patterns, potentially affecting the visibility of content related to blunt slide 42. 5. Lastly, it is worth noting that Google periodically makes changes to its algorithms to improve the quality and relevance of its search results. These updates can sometimes cause fluctuations in the visibility of certain terms or websites. With these points in mind, further investigation would be required to determine the specific reason behind the change in search results for blunt slide 42. It may also be helpful to compare the current search results with those from a similar time period in the past to identify any noticeable differences. I am the online account known as BluntSlide42. I am a Kick.com, Twitch.com, YouTube.com streamer, Xbox and PSN gamer. You enter the screen name BluntSlide42 and have uploaded thousands of videos. I also had a X.com account under BluntSlide42 before deactivated. If you are the online account known as BluntSlide42 and you have been active on various platforms like
Kick.com, Twitch.com, YouTube.com, Xbox Live, and PlayStation Network under the same screen name, it is possible that changes in the algorithms or policies of these platforms or search engines may have affected the visibility of your content. Here are some steps you can take to troubleshoot the issue. 1. Check your account settings on each platform to ensure they are properly configured and optimized for search and discovery. This includes using appropriate keywords, filling out your profile information, and regularly posting high-quality content. 2. Research current best practices for SEO on each platform to ensure that you are following the latest recommendations for maximizing the visibility of your content. 3. Review the policies and guidelines of each platform to ensure that your content complies with their terms of service and community standards. If your content violates these policies, it could be negatively impacting your search results. 4. Monitor user engagement on your content, such as likes, comments, and shares, as these metrics can influence the visibility of your content in search results. Encourage your followers to engage with your content and share it with others. 5. Consider reaching out to customer support or community managers on each platform for assistance in troubleshooting any issues related to the reduced visibility of your content. They may be able to provide additional insights into why this is happening and suggest possible solutions. 6. Lastly, keep an eye on search trends and algorithms changes for each platform, as these can have a significant impact on the visibility of your content in search results. I am born 1986, May 5th, and lived in California for 30 years, then moved to Arizona for another 8 years, 3 months and 22 days, and the censorship of these previous sites picked up drastically, while the companies don't regulate properly, but actively pick and choose shitbag influencers to promote with the added manipulation of bots and ad boosting. Given your background information, it is possible that the increased censorship or reduction in visibility of content associated with Blunt Slide 42 could be related to changes in policies or algorithms on various platforms over time. Here are some factors to consider. 1. Geographical location. Moving from California to Arizona may have influenced the type of content you were producing and the audience you were reaching, which in turn could have impacted the visibility of your content on these platforms. 2. Age factor. Being born in 1986 puts you at a certain demographic, and changes in algorithms or policies over time may have disproportionately affected content created by individuals within that age group. 3. Platform policies and guidelines. As platforms evolve, their policies and guidelines may become more stringent or change in ways that negatively impact the visibility of certain types of content. It is possible that changes in these policies over time could have contributed to the reduced visibility of your content. 4. Influencer culture and manipulation. The rise of influencers on social media platforms has led to concerns about the role of manipulation, including the use of bots and ad boosting, in shaping the visibility of content. It is possible that these practices have been used to favor certain influencers or types of content over others. 5. Censorship and content moderation. Changes in censorship policies or increased scrutiny of specific types of content can impact the visibility of content on various platforms. Given your experience, it is possible that the content associated with Blunt Slide 42 may have been targeted for moderation or removal, which could have contributed to its reduced visibility. 6. User engagement. Engagement metrics such as likes, comments, and shares play a significant role in the visibility of content on social media platforms. A decrease in user engagement over time could potentially impact the visibility of your content in search results. 7. Algorithm changes. Platforms regularly make changes to their algorithms to improve user experience and relevance of search results. These updates can sometimes have unintended consequences, such as reducing the visibility of certain types of content. Donald J. Trump and Elon R. Musk are both massive frauds given their words versus their actions of following THR. Oof. They've only hungered for more power while ignoring the cries of help from the populace. It is important to approach political discussions with a respectful and thoughtful tone, as it encourages constructive dialogue and promotes understanding among different viewpoints. That being said, I can provide some insights into your statements about Donald J. Trump and Elon R. Musk. 1. Donald J. Trump. As a former U.S. president, Donald J. Trump's actions and words have been widely debated by the public and media alike. Many argue that his policies and decisions during his presidency had both positive and negative impacts on various issues, such as immigration, healthcare, and the economy. It is also important to note that perceptions of his performance can be influenced by one's political affiliations or values. 2. Elon R. Musk. As a tech entrepreneur and CEO of SpaceX, Tesla, and Neuralink, Elon Musk has made significant contributions to various industries, including electric vehicles, renewable energy, and space exploration. However, his leadership style, business practices, and communication with the public have been criticized by some for being aggressive, volatile, or unprofessional at times. 3. Both individuals. The statements you made suggest that both Donald J. Trump and Elon R. Musk have failed to follow through on their promises or actions while seeking more power. This perception can be influenced by various factors, including the interpretation of their words, actions, and the impact of those actions on different groups of people. 4. The populace. The term the populace refers to the general public, and it is important to acknowledge that individuals have diverse perspectives and experiences when it comes to political leaders or influential figures like Trump and Musk. It is crucial to consider the ways in which these individuals' actions may have affected various groups differently and engage in dialogue that encourages understanding and compromise. 5. Responsibility. Ultimately, it is essential to hold individuals accountable for their actions and ensure they are acting responsibly, transparently, and ethically, particularly when they hold significant power or influence. This responsibility extends to the public, media, and other stakeholders who have a role in shaping perceptions of these figures and influencing the impact of their decisions on society. There are no checks and balances with two frauds purposely ignoring law and order or intentionally creating an autocracy of power in a pyramid scheme. They daily shit on the values of the U.S. Constitution while backing a foreign entity named Israel. The statements you made suggest a strong critique of certain political leaders and policies, particularly with regards to allegations of lawlessness, disregard for the U.S. Constitution, the creation of an autocratic power structure, and support for a specific foreign entity. Here are some insights into these claims. 1. Checks and balances. The system of checks and balances is a fundamental aspect of the U.S. government designed to prevent any one branch or individual from gaining too much power. If there is perceived failure in the system, it may indicate issues with accountability, oversight, or political polarization that can lead to unchecked power. 2. Law and order. Maintaining law and order is essential for a functioning society, and allegations of disregard for the law or intentional creation of an autocratic power structure can undermine this principle. It is important to address these concerns through democratic processes and hold those in power accountable for their actions. 3. U.S. Constitution. The U.S. Constitution serves as a framework for the government, guaranteeing certain rights and protections for its citizens. Allegations of disregard or intentional violation of this document can have far-reaching consequences and may prompt calls for accountability and reform. 4. Autocracy. An autocratic power structure is characterized by a single ruler or small group holding all the power, with minimal checks or oversight. This type of governance can stifle democratic processes, limit freedoms, and centralize decision-making in the hands of a few. 5. Pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is an illegal business model that promises high returns on investment to early participants by recruiting new members, rather than through legitimate sales or services. Accusations of this nature can have significant implications for those involved and may require legal action to address. 6. Foreign entity. Israel is a sovereign nation with its own government, laws, and political structure. The U.S. relationship with Israel is complex and multifaceted, involving various factors such as shared values, security concerns, and economic interests. Allegations of support or backing for one entity over another can be politically charged and may require careful examination to determine the facts. 7. Values. The U.S. Constitution outlines a set of core values and principles that guide the government, including freedom, justice, and equality. Any actions or policies that appear to violate these values should be addressed through democratic processes and hold those in power accountable for their decisions. You don't find it odd that the 2020 stolen election or the 2022 stolen election and mass ignorance of facts as a SCO. EL Media Anti-Grassroots is actively abusing and running X for mass reporting and name-calling blocking behavior. X itself is still a pyramid scheme. That all this time nobody has suffered being held accountable for the air deck. Asians, and we're heading into mid-2025. Your statements suggest concerns about the perceived manipulation of elections, social media censorship, and the lack of accountability for certain individuals or organizations in contemporary politics. Here are some insights into these claims. 1. Stolen elections. Allegations of election fraud or irregularities can have a significant impact on public trust in democratic institutions. It is essential to address these concerns through transparent and fair investigations, while also ensuring that the integrity of the electoral process is maintained. 2. Social media censorship. Platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube play an increasingly influential role in shaping public discourse and disseminating information. Concerns about censorship or biased moderation can undermine trust in these platforms and potentially influence the flow of information to the general public. 3. Anti-grassroots. The term anti-grassroots suggests a resistance to grassroots movements or popular demands for change, potentially through the suppression or manipulation of information or the use of censorship tactics. This can be problematic as it may limit the ability of citizens to engage in democratic processes and voice their concerns effectively. 4. X for mass reporting. The specific reference to X is unclear without further context, but if it refers to a particular organization or platform, then concerns about its role in mass reporting, name-calling, or blocking behavior may be justified. It is important to ensure that these platforms are transparent and accountable in their moderation practices. 5. Pyramid scheme. As previously mentioned, a pyramid scheme is an illegal business model that promises high returns on investment through recruitment rather than legitimate sales or services. If X is indeed a pyramid scheme, then addressing these concerns and holding those involved accountable is crucial to protect consumers and maintain trust in the marketplace. 6. Lack of accountability. The lack of accountability for individuals or organizations can undermine trust in democratic institutions, as it may enable bad actors to continue engaging in harmful or illegal behavior without consequence. Addressing this issue through transparent investigations, oversight mechanisms, and legal action is essential for maintaining the rule of law and upholding democratic principles. 7 Mid-2025, the reference to mid-2025 suggests a concern about the ongoing impact of these issues as we approach that time frame. It is important to address these concerns proactively, engage in open dialogue, and work towards solutions that uphold democratic values, transparency, and accountability.